This is The Spot, a BYU-Idaho radio production where we talk about what you're talking about at BYU-Idaho. Today's hosts are me, Savannah Bewley,
Bryan Bridge,
and Hayden Hon,
and our guest speaker today, my brother,
Devon Bewley.
The views and opinions of this podcast are not that of BYU-Idaho Radio or the university and are solely the opinions of the hosts. Today, we're talking about Christmas.
Woohoo. Man, even though it's cold outside, snowing in Rexburg, November and December are always my favorite months. Even though, different kids' birthdays or girlfriends or spouses' birthdays are in different months, November and December they feel like home no matter where you are.
Mm-hmm. I just feel happy too. Even though I'm from Arizona and I don't like this weather as much, I feel happy. I don't know. I like it. I enjoy it. I think people in general they see, I don't know, the holidays come up and they just get in a good mood. And so I feel like, so maybe some people don't like this not that much to where it makes them kind of sad, but I don't know. I still feel happy.
Yeah, there's something about the misery that the snow brings that brings out all the joyous moments in life.
Yeah.
So like this morning I was like chopping apart a couch because we're moving, but that's another story. Anyways, so I was doing that, and then I came in and I was like, man, it's so nice to be in this warmth right now. So it brings out all the good, even though there's stuff that's unpleasant, it brings out all the pleasantness too.
I think something about the holidays is just it makes people want to be more giving in nature, a little bit more caring about other people, and I think that has a lot to do with Christ and the gospel, and just in general, people feel the need to be more serving around this time of year, and I think that is just a very humble and beautiful thing around this time of year.
Yeah, I would agree, and along with that, I know we're talking about Rexburg a little bit here, but whenever I think of Christmas and, people ask me or bring up in discussions like, oh, what's the funniest or craziest gift you've ever gotten? Something that will always be in my memories is my grandma, who my dad was an only child. And so my grandma and grandpa focused on us as grandkids is like, oh, I have to treat you so well. But they were like really stingy, but also kind of poor. Not really poor. Anyways, so, we would give them our list for Santa. And instead of getting us puzzles or video games that we would want, they would pick out on our list jar of pickles kind of thing. And one year, I put down roller skates because I was really into hockey, and my parents wouldn't get me roller skates. And so they got me some awesome roller skates from Target, and they were bright pink.
Ooh,
and I was like,
nice.
Oh, thank you so much. Thank you. And so then 3 days later, we went to Target and exchanged them.
Dang.
So
got rid of them real quick. You know what I always wanted was some Heelys,
Ooh.
Imagine going around in some Heelys.
You would be a Heelys guy.
I would have been a Heelys kid. Yeah, well, I never got it. And it was just me. I'm still dreaming for the day that a Heely shows up maybe in the stocking or something. Something wild like that.
You're an adult now, so you could just buy your own.
That's true. I could
Heelys.
get my own. I'm going to, Amazon that real quick. Show up at my door. I'll be here. You'll see me healing next week for sure.
You know what you should have done with those pink skates is you could have gotten some fabric paint or something, and done some neon green on it too. Would have looked super cool.
A little wild, yeah.
I did that with a hat recently. I painted it like a Mario hat, and it was awesome.
Yeah, I'm regretful of my decision to exchange them. Those are, again, one of my greatest memories of Christmas, and I just was like, nope, I don't like the color. But today I'm regretful.
Well, I'm sure you were a little bit different in that age period. How old were you at that time?
Oh, man. Probably 9. I have a picture. I'll
Pink
pull it
was
up
the
while you
anime.
guys are talking.
Oh yeah, when you're 9, it's like, oh no, not pink.
Pink is the
never
enemy.
pink.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then, I don't know. I wear pink sometimes. I can rock it sometimes,
You
It
can
looks
rock
good
Hayden.
sometimes.
Yeah.
Okay, Hayden, look at that. You see the pink rollerblades?
Well, that's a nice shade of pink. That's kind of a
it's not even that
pink
bad.
too.
It's not even that bad.
Yeah,
so
it really even stands out.
I'd
me
say I was
see.
9 right there.
See what I mean?
Oh, dude, you could totally.
I
rock
know.
those.
I'm so
Rock 'em.
sad I
Yeah.
got rid
Oh
of them.
man, that's so
But-
cool
oh, well.
though. It kind of
Get
reminds
those
me of
back.
a Steven Universe like look almost because they had little star patterns on them.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, that's cool. That's a really good. Is that one of your first Christmas memories?
Yeah, I mean, other than that, we were really big into Advent calendars, and I love chocolate so much. And when I was, again, probably the same age, probably a little bit younger, 6, 7, my family got a ton of Advent calendars, one for each one of us. So like 7 of them. And if you're not familiar with an Advent calendar, you take a piece of chocolate for each day of December. So by like December 3rd, you have 3 little doors open. You take the 3rd one out, you eat a little piece of chocolate. And again, there's 7 of these calendars lined up on our little like baby grand piano. And I think, I don't know the entire story because I was so young, but like December 3rd or 4th, my parents said they woke up to all of them completely emptied out, eaten all the chocolates, and they had said that I did it. I don't remember this, but they said I did it.
That's some Jimmy Kimmel stuff, you know, like
So-
the Halloween thing where he's like, the parents are like, we ate all your candy, and they tell the kids.
I know,
Maybe
right?
your parents did that to you, and they just didn't
Right?
want to. They blamed it on you. You should bring this
Dang.
up.
Oh my goodness.
The
Sad.
insult.
Yeah.
I remember one year where our dog ate like the Christmas ham or whatever.
Oh man.
And she was a little like dachshund.
Yeah.
So she came out and like we came out and we saw her and her belly was just like dragging
No.
on the ground. And we were like, you poor dog. Like she did not have any impulse control, ate the whole ham, you know, like, oh man.
The poor thing, her tiny little dachshund legs just barely were like able to like even get onto the floor. And I was just like, the poor thing.
Man, that's sad. Bad for the dog too.
Yeah,
Oh
no.
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It was we were very careful after that
Going
about
forward.
where we put our ham when we were praying.
That'll happen. Was that a long prayer for the dog to eat that whole thing? Or?
I don't remember what was going on. Mom probably had the ham out at that point and was like getting ready for dinner and
Yeah,
then
I don't know.
collecting all of us kids because there's 5 of us, you know.
We were really young
You
at
know.
that point, so I
yeah.
don't remember.
So she was
But,
probably trying to collect all of us for dinner, had the dinner out, and wasn't paying attention because she was trying to collect us all, you know. And
Yeah.
we were probably 5 and 7 at that point.
yeah, something like
Somewhere
that.
in there. So yeah, there was young kids that she
Yeah.
was trying to wrangle
Yeah.
at that point. But yeah, she was a little more aware of where the ham was.
Yeah. Going forward.
Exactly.
Well, I think my first real big Christmas memory, I mean, I have a lot. We always go to our grandparents every single Christmas, and that was a big part of it for sure.
Like in the morning or evening?
It's
Or
like
like
a
the whole week?
late afternoon, I guess we could
Yeah,
say. And
yeah.
then we would go into the evening and we'd spend a lot of time with them. She always got us whatever we wanted. We're spoiled, you know. Our grandma she grew up on a dairy and she just would always spoil with us. And I don't know, it was so fun. But I think other than that, actually, we have a video of it. Me and my brother's opening this present. But it was a Nintendo Wii.
Oh,
It was like a huge deal.
Dang.
2000, like
It was
5 or
the
6?
month or whatever. I think it had come out just like that month or something, and it was a huge deal. Like they were being sold out, and it was really tough to get it. And so we were like not expecting it. And then we opened. It was like the last. We did like a scavenger hunt. Our parents took us on one, and at the end was the Wii, and we were like, "No way, Mom! How'd you get this?" My mom's like, I just stood in line at Target or something like that." I was like, "Good job, Mom!" We were all freaking out, and we instantly put it right up and. That Wii served us well for probably, I don't know, 10 plus years.
It's so funny because when
Lots of
you
memories.
say all this, it's like nowadays, you know, the PS5 has been out for 2 years now, and people are still like,
Trying to get it.
yeah,
Still having issues. Yeah.
still trying to find any place to get it. I remember that year that the Wii came out, and my parents. So if church was on a Sunday, if Christmas was on a Sunday, we would go to church, and it was usually only sacrament meeting, and then we would come home. This was back when it was 3-hour church, and then we would open our presents. But my friend said that their parents let them open presents before church, and I remember he came to church that day, and he was like, yeah, I got a Nintendo Wii. And I was like,
Dropped it on you?
like, I'm so sad. I never had a Wii. Well, I had it when I was an adult.
Yeah.
Remember, Hayden, you can buy your own gifts when
Yeah,
you're
that's
an
right.
adult.
Yeah.
But I also remember when like the DS came out and he
big
did
deal.
the same thing to me. He was like, I got a DS. And I was like, this isn't fair, dude.
Yeah.
Like,
Don't
I got
talk
a
to that dude
basketball.
anymore.
You know? So,
Hey, at least you got to go outside and play basketball, right?
There you go. Be
It's true.
positive.
Well, it's interesting that we're talking about games and Wii and stuff, you know, and that's one of the things that's big at our family is whenever we get together for holidays, it's always all the board games, all the video games get brought out, all the things. And, you know, with the Wii particularly, we got very competitive with like Wii Sports and like Mario Kart.
what was your
and different
favorite
things
Wii
like that.
sport?
Ooh, dude, we played it up on golf.
Golf was a
that's
thing.
really-
Golf was
Yeah.
a thing in our
I
family.
gotta get up the tennis,
Yeah.
the flick of the wrist on the tennis, you know?
yeah.
Bowling.
Yeah.
Bowling,
Oh, bowling,
is the
that's
best.
right. Bowling was
yeah,
good.
and me and was it my brother who played boxing with me all the
Oh
time?
gosh.
So I
Wii
played a lot
boxing.
of boxing with you
Maybe it was
growing
you,
up,
yeah.
but I don't think George was around when we got the
No,
Wii.
it wouldn't have been George. It was probably Alex because she was uber competitive.
So our
Yeah.
older sister Alex,
So competitive.
so competitive. but yes, we had a lot of fun. And funny thing is that we actually got it through. We won it, and I
Yeah.
can't
Oh,
remember
really?
where we won it from.
Oh, you know what? So there was this. My baseball team was having a fundraiser.
That's what it
and,
was.
And my mom was like, "Okay, so don't get your hopes set on winning this top prize. You know, this Nintendo Wii. I know it matters to you." And I'm like, "Mom, I'm getting it." And so,
So
I
funny.
I went to every door I could find. I went door to door like a missionary, you know, knocking on every door, you know, please buy these, you know, buy these candy bars for my team. And, you know, yeah, that's how we got that Nintendo Wii.
Yeah.
Dude, I remember looking at like, I don't know, Target magazines or like newspapers with all the Christmas deals. And I remember seeing the Nintendo Wii, and this was maybe a year after it was out. And it was like a $70 deal, like for a console. And I remember thinking, oh my gosh, my mom will never let me get it for that much. Nowadays, that's like, oh my goodness,
You
get
get that
that
like
right
a-
away.
Yeah,
Instantly,
like
yeah.
PS5 is what, like $600?
I believe it's
500.
closer to 500.
500?
600,
It's up there though.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
you know
it's
what?
up
You think about it though, and you know, to get a new Nintendo Switch is usually about $150 to $200.
Yeah.
So it's like Nintendo's still by far like the cheapest
Oh yeah,
console.
for sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
Well, this isn't necessarily a console episode, so we'll turn back to Christmas. So some earlier Christmas things that we did growing up. I remember in Tennessee, it almost never snowed when we were in Tennessee, and there was this one Christmas time. I remember because we had this giant hill in the back of this like apartment complex. You must have been like
I was young.
4.
Yeah.
So I was like 6 in that time period. But the snow got good enough that we were able to like sled down this like giant hill in the back. But it's funny to think about compared to Tennessee, comparing Tennessee to Idaho and Indiana. The snow was literally like
Yeah.
maybe a half an inch, but we were excited as kids to be able to actually sled down something.
Yes.
So that was kind of an early Christmas memory I have.
It's funny because I grew up in a part of California where snow was like a 3 to 4 hour drive away, but Arizona, I mean, you get nothing.
We got Flagstaff, I guess. And,
Flagstaff gets some snow?
I mean, we're not trying to brag, but sometimes it gets the biggest snowfall in the country.
Oh, wow.
So
I
it
didn't
is.
know that.
It is kind of
Wow.
like it's a weird situation where like you do get like Gilbert Mesa area where you get no snow, and like it's a big deal. Like you said for Tennessee, if I woke up and like the dew on the grass was kind of looking like snow, I was like, holy cow! Like this is a big deal. This is like groundbreaking. But if we wanted to, we'd go to Flagstaff, a 2.5 hour drive, and it's like whoa.
It's all about elevation.
Elevation,
Arizona.
yeah.
Yeah, there's some really high elevations.
Yep.
You bring that up, and there was one Christmas, I think it was the week of Christmas, where the weather people on TV were like, it's going to get down to 40 degrees today. So you could expect a tiny bit of snowfall. And, we're at 0 feet elevation. And we're like, oh my gosh, prepare for a blizzard. And nothing ever came. It was just
That's
rain,
funny.
but,
40 degrees.
Yeah.
Tennessee, it was that way. You know, like we were in the valley part, but the mountains would get snow, and it was all in the same school district. So if the mountains got snow, we'd get school canceled, and it was like,
And it was like 70 degrees, nice and sunny, and we got school canceled because it was snowy.
Yeah.
But
That's funny.
having snow on the mountains, like those buses, like it's not good for the buses to go up there if there's snow. So
For sure.
So
Totally
yeah,
agree.
it was definitely a good reason to close school for sure.
Now, I hope you don't mind me changing the subject. We can talk about some Christmas music, and I wanted to see if my family wasn't an outlier. So we had, the normal Christmas music like Frank Sinatra and all these other people. But we listened to a very specific Christmas album that I don't think any of you have ever listened to. And I want to know if you guys have listened to similar albums. But Hilary Duff came out
I was
with...
not expecting that.
Came out with, oh man, it was like Christmas Lane or something, Santa Claus Lane. And that entire album, our entire family knows every lyric to every song.
Goodness.
It's kind of weird. And I know the tradition won't continue with my own family. But growing up, I mean, if you give it a listen, I hope you give it a chance and you're not just like, oh my gosh, this is terrible. Nah, she is fire on that album.
I love Hilary Duff. She's actually got a really great voice. If you listen to some of her albums, like she's got a great voice. I didn't know she had a Christmas album, so I'll have to check it out this
Santa
year.
Claus Lane.
There's a Sia album.
Oh, interesting.
Really?
Sia did
That's
a
so
Christmas
cool.
album in 2016, 17, something like that.
Mhm.
But the song that comes on the radio that people think of with that is Candy Cane Lane. So that's what
Okay.
I was thinking of. But
Candy Cane Lane.
But yeah,
I'll
Candy
give it a
Cane
listen.
Lane is like is a pretty newish Christmas classic, so to speak. Yeah.
Listen to that.
See, and Sia, it's interesting because if you listen to the Sia Christmas album, it's all new Christmas songs that she made.
Like originals.
That's good.
from her?
Originals. And it's really cool because, Sia's got this really unique style. And so it's just interesting to hear the different kind of takes that she has. And like, she's not using the same 5 songs we hear every year. She's got completely brand new Christmas songs. It's really cool. So I think Devin was right. 2016 is when that came out.
See,
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
sweet.
I'll give it a listen.
Yeah, me too. Because I really like her, and I think 2016 or a little bit before that was when she was kind of getting big. So then she released it, right? So it makes sense
around
to
that
think,
time. Yeah, I think growing up though, we definitely didn't listen to Hilary Duff during Christmas.
Yeah, you're unique over here.
I love Hilary Duff, but yeah, during Christmas we didn't listen to her. We listened to Josh Groban,
Yeah. Dude,
Okay.
Polar Express.
Polar Express.
That's a
so
good
great.
track.
Our sister Alex, she is obsessed with Christmas. Loves it. In fact, she gets gifts throughout the year for Christmas, like building
Wow.
up.
She's always
like,
thinking about it.
Oh, always
like it.
thinking about it. Every month, at least a couple gifts for that she gets for the end of the year. So she's absolutely obsessed with it. So we listened to a lot of Christmas music growing up. Obviously, all the classics. Those were my favorites. Like you were saying, Michael Bublé, Frank Sinatra.
Yeah.
Those are my favorites. But we also listened to Pentatonics
Yeah,
and
good
and
ones,
some of the
yeah.
newer stuff and got involved with that. Our sister, she loves the song "Grandma Got Ran Over by a Reindeer." So we used to listen to that all the time, almost every single year. In fact, she probably still has it in her playlist. Those are some of the highlights from music wise growing
And there
up.
was, of course, my mom's CDs as well, which would be like Mannheim Steamroller.
Yes.
Like that.
A lot of people don't know about Mannheim Steamroller, and I'm
They
surprised.
I don't. So I'm just throwing it out there, guys.
Mannheim Steamroller, they're like maybe 70s, 80s electronic kind of music. And they have a pretty well-known
wonder if I
Christmas
know
album that is like, it's like all the stuff we know, like Carol of the Bells and stuff, but it's done in this like kind of electronic rock, kind of style.
Have you ever been to Disneyland?
Yes.
Okay,
sir.
so you might know about the Main Street Electrical Parade. Like
Yeah.
you've heard about
Yep.
that. You probably never saw it, but I think about that, but like with Christmas music. That's what Mannheim Steamroller is. So
Yeah,
It's
really,
good
really
stuff.
cool.
I need to listen to it. I bet I've maybe if it's popular, I've probably heard it.
Yeah,
I mean,
you've
I'm
probably
just-
heard it.
You've probably heard a
missing
few
out.
of them on the radio for sure, because
Yeah.
I've definitely heard them on the radio.
Which I miss that.
around
I-
Christmas time.
I miss like just listening to radio and like it always plays like in my parents' garage back home or something like that. You know, like I don't know. You don't hear that around here in radio. Like I guess.
Do you
I don't
not have a
it playing
radio in
my
your car?
apartment. I guess I do, but I don't know. I just always listen to my own little music. You know, compared to what
Christmas
I used to.
time, turn off your phone.
I need
just,
to. I
Just
need
turn on
to.
the radio.
But I mean, for Christmas music, for me, you mentioned Michael Bublé. My mom's had the biggest crush on him for years, so naturally that's been a part of our family. But I love his music too, and his album's like a good mix of like the originals, but he also has a few. I mean, his originals, and then there's like the original Christmas music that he does. So I really like that. And then he does like that Christmas special every year, I think, where he has it on. I don't know what he hosts it on, but every single year he does it. And I know he stopped maybe past 2 years. Something happened with his son, but I know that he has that Christmas special.
Have y'all seen there's a Michael Bublé like meme? It's like Christmas time is when the polar bears and Michael Bublé come out of their caves to play or
Yeah,
something like
exactly.
that. Yeah,
He hasn't
that's
released a
exactly
lot.
what it is. It's Michael Bublé will come out for Christmas time.
That's pretty much it.
Okay, so now I'll name my favorite Christmas movie. It has to be Christmas Vacation. It's
Really?
I know. I'll probably hear Elf around the table here, but Christmas Vacation, my family was a little bit less stingy with sheltering me from certain things, and so that movie is just amazing comedy. That's all I have to say.
It's not bad, yeah.
Not
I said
bad.
it's not bad. Yeah, I
Okay,
agree with
okay,
you.
okay.
Yeah. Well, I'm more like classics. I don't know. I remember the 25 Days of Christmas, like that thing where they show like the old movies, like the puppets, like Mr. Flame or what's it, Mr. Ice and whatever. Like
I think that's just called Santa Claus is Coming to Town.
Yeah, something like that. And it
Yeah.
has like all the old reindeer, like
Claymation.
Rudolph Red-Nosed, all that
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah.
I love those.
Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. I love
It
it.
just gives me the vibes, of
Such a
Christmas.
classic.
And even though, like, I don't know, I haven't watched them in a while, but if I watch them, I know I'd sit down and enjoy it. So I love those, but maybe Polar Express. I don't know why.
Yeah.
I really like it.
It's
It makes
the
a good
music.
feel.
It's not
Music.
necessarily the animation, just the
Animation's a
music.
little-
yeah.
yep.
The music is so good, though. And I don't know, there's just so many different ones I watch every single year. Christmas Carol with Patrick Stewart as the Grinch.
Yeah.
Or as Scrooge, not the
Scrooge.
Grinch. As Scrooge. So good. He's so
how
good.
long ago did that come out?
I
That was
think it
probably 90s.
Yeah, late
Yeah.
90s. Late 90s.
Okay.
It was one that was done by the Hallmark Channel.
We love Hallmark.
But oddly enough, like it's very high quality. Like if you know Patrick Stewart, he's very into like Shakespearean acting, and he's got an amazing presence to him. It's just very good. Another one that we always watch as a family is like Jim Carrey's Grinch.
Yeah.
So
for
good.
sure.
So good.
So
I mean,
good.
you gotta watch the
Ridiculous.
classic Grinch too.
Yeah.
But like the cartoon Grinch, right? The first one, not the new animated
I was
one.
gonna say, do you like the new animated one?
I haven't watched it because
Me neither.
I can already tell I'm not going to like it.
Yeah.
To us, it's like Jim Carrey Grinch and cartoon Grinch, and that's all we care about.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It's good.
Man, good times. Thank you for sharing your movies. Savannah, you had another one?
Yeah. So one I always watch every single year. It's a very old one.
It's a Wonderful Life.
It's a Wonderful Life. Yeah.
Yeah, so good.
I always forget the title, but I love it. And so I looked at Devin because I was like, he knows.
Well, because it's in my top 5 favorite movies of all time.
yeah, same.
And
so
me,
good.
I graduated in the theater program here, so like I love movies. I just pick them apart and like find the coolest movies. So
Movie's
so
long,
yeah,
but
It's a
so
Wonderful
good.
Life is good.
So good.
Super good.
Yep.
It is long, yeah.
It is long.
But it's worth it. Like it's black and white.
we watch it every Christmas, yeah.
It's a classic. It's so good. It's about this banker who basically his life is falling apart around him. And, he gets visited by this angel who's kind of funny, actually.
He's pretty
but
bad at his job.
he is pretty bad at his job, but he's also pretty good at it if you
Yeah.
think about it. But anyway, he gets visited by this angel and he kind of gets his life turned around, basically going back to the past of his life and going through his Christmas. It's kind of like Scrooge,
Yeah,
But
that
not-
sounds like that.
but not quite.
Yeah.
It's very very different. It's got a different story to it. It's just one of those things that like every year, if I don't watch It's a Wonderful Life, it feels like something's missing. It's a classic, and it's just so.
I was expecting you to say Nightmare Before Christmas.
Yes. So I watch Nightmare Before Christmas almost all year round, but between October and December, I watch it a lot more than I usually do. But when it comes to like actual favorite just Christmas movies that are just Christmas, nothing else, like It's a Wonderful Life is definitely at the top. Same with Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, just classics. Elf, I love Elf. I know you brought it up as kind of cheesy, but it's
No, I love it.
I think it's one of the ones you have to watch though. You know, when it
so
comes
good.
around.
And I'm honestly like, I know this is kind of unpopular opinion. I'm not a huge Will Ferrell fan, but that specific movie I love a lot.
I agree.
So,
I'll ask
really
you
good.
afterwards why you don't like Will Ferrell.
Yeah, let's keep it Christmas right now. Come on.
keep it Christmas. Any other Christmas movies you guys watch?
The claymation ones, like you were saying, I remember on our like 4-inch by 4-inch TV, having that in our room and like snuggling up with a little sleeping bag on the ground. I don't know why, but like you can't sleep on your bed.
Oh,
you
I
have to
never
sleep
do
on the
every
ground.
single
Yeah.
year. Yeah.
Don't know why. But putting in the VCR or VHS, I guess you would say,
Come on, bro.
of those claymation ones. That's definitely like a huge memory for me. But Christmas Vacation, A Christmas Story, the one with
That's
There
a
you go.
great one.
it is a good one. It wasn't huge in my family. I think we just were more into Christmas Vacation.
Did y'all ever see? This is kind of obscure. Do you remember growing up? There was that Jack Frost movie where the guy goes into the snowstorm and he dies, and his Christmas wish is to come back for his son.
Oh,
You mean the one with the
yes.
snowman?
I've seen
Snowman,
that. It's
yeah.
creepy.
Yeah.
It's kind of the
It's a
animation
little,
is kind of-
it's a little bizarre, but it's fun.
It is
at the
good.
same time.
That's like, that reminds me of like Christmas with the Cranks. That one was big in our family. I don't really like it. I don't know why. Probably because it's like this married couple is like, hey, we're not going to do Christmas this year. It's like, lame.
I get, we haven't even mentioned like Home Alone. Does that count?
Oh, yeah,
absolutely.
Home Alone,
Absolutely.
Stuff like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love
Dude.
that.
We
Home Alone.
haven't mentioned A Muppet Christmas Carol.
Oh, absolutely.
Oh my gosh, such a good time. But you got to watch one of the serious ones first.
Yeah.
At least in
Work
my
your way
opinion.
into it, kind of.
Yeah, and then you watch The Muppet Christmas Carol. But I know there are some families that only watch The Muppet Christmas Carol,
Which
Like-
is my wife's family.
Yeah.
And for me, I'm like, no, you got to get like the actual like sadness of the story as well. And yeah, Muppet Christmas Carol has a lot to offer though, in ways of like at least introducing the story to younger audiences. So, and on top of that, Muppets are always hilarious. So there's that.
Did you guys ever watch Mr. Kruger's Christmas?
Oh yeah,
Oh,
I love
yeah.
that.
We
What is
watch it
that?
every year. It's a LDS made, but like I don't think the actor is LDS. But
No,
he was a
the
big
actor is the same
right?
guy that's in A Wonderful Life.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
It's the same guy. Yeah.
So it was a big deal for the church to get someone to like his level. And then it's only like 25 to 30 minutes, but it's like his wife passed away. He's a lonely guy and he like lives as a janitor below like an apartment building. It's kind of sad. But then like he like meets this little girl, like the spirit of Christmas. And then he has like flashbacks to Christ's birth. And it's super sweet. And
It
it's
is
like
beautiful
you just
too.
we watch it the day before Christmas every year. And so it's a good feel,
one.
good feel. Mr. Kruger's Christmas.
It's always good to go back to what really matters around Christmas time and find things that are about Christ and like really focus on the real true meaning of Christmas. And Mr. Kruger's Christmas is definitely one of those for me. Just going back and really focusing on that part of Christmas, the really important part.
Yeah, my wife's family apparently has a tradition of watching the I don't know what the actual video is called, but the video that the church released of like Christ's birth every Christmas Eve. Again, I don't know the actual title of it.
Is that one that got kind of big, like 2016, whenever they did that
Yeah.
big social media campaign? It
Yeah,
was
yeah.
what was it called? Share or something.
See, I can't remember.
I know what you're talking about, though. It got
Yeah,
really
yeah.
big, and everyone was sharing. It was really good.
So
Yeah.
beautiful too.
Yeah.
So beautiful.
The one where they actually like spoke Hebrew and stuff. Is that the one you're talking about?
Yeah, I mean that's the
Yeah.
one we watched last year, so I don't remember the name.
A
of
really
it.
good, like if you're looking for the actual like biblical account, the Nativity Story is a super good movie. It came out maybe, I don't know, late 2000s or something like that, but it's super good. And they go through the wise men, they go through Mary and Joseph and all the different people that are, and everything that's going on, around Christ's birth. So,
well, speaking of just going back to the true meaning of Christmas, and our family, a tradition that we do on Christmas Eve is we read, I believe we go into John's account.
It's Luke, actually.
Is it Luke's account? Luke's account.
Right,
so we go into Luke's account every single year and we read it aloud with each other. And that's the last thing we do before we go to sleep. Of course, the parents did more than that afterwards, but
whoa.
Yeah.
What? I don't know what you're talking about.
We're
talking about wrapping gifts, okay?
just wrapping the last minute gifts that they had to hide the entire year. It's okay. And then after they go to sleep, that's when Santa comes in. That's when Santa comes in.
Yeah. Duh.
And the reindeer food.
Oh yeah. Did you guys ever do reindeer food?
I got Santa's cookies.
Yeah, I never did it growing up. My sister who lived with us when she had kids, she did it for her kids, but I was like, nah, we just always did the cookies and milk. Mm-hmm. So
cookies and milk are good. And Santa always loves that hot chocolate if you can keep it warm.
Oh yeah, it's tough for him.
And reindeer food, for those of you who aren't aware, is you get like this. I don't know. You just get like sparkles and confetti and stuff, and
oats
and oats and stuff. Mm-hmm. Yeah, just so like there's a bit of realness to it and a bit of fakeness to it, right? and you grab it and you put it all around the house, and it helps the reindeer come.
You put it outside too.
Well, that's what I meant, like all around the house, like on the outside.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And so sometimes, and we lived out in the country, so sometimes we would get deer coming
Actual
in,
deer,
and,
Oh, that's easy for you.
Yeah, so it was really cool because we could see like all the deer tracks and
Rudolph
stuff.
got left behind.
Yeah, Rudolph got left behind. He decided to come and join our
Snack
family.
over at you guys' place.
But yeah. So we did that almost every year, at least when we were older. So that was a cool tradition. We always got a real Christmas tree too, like
I love that
actual
smell
real one. Is so good. Fun stories come from that though. One year we got a real Christmas tree, and our sister Alex, she's been brought up a lot, but she loves Christmas, so that makes sense. But she had this interesting, I don't know what she thought it was, but she thought it was a cool little thing hanging on the tree. And when we got the tree, and she decided to keep it and put it behind a candle in our bathroom.
Oh gosh.
It was a cocoon.
This was before we were born. But
This was before we were born, but this is a thing that my mom always talks about around Christmas time. Because we got the real trees, there would be things like that sometimes. And yeah, it was a praying mantis cocoon.
Oh my
And
goodness. Really?
one day,
on, Alex.
Mom walked into the bathroom, there were praying mantises everywhere. Tiny little praying mantises.
That's crazy.
So yeah, when you get a real tree, make sure to check for cocoons and things of that nature because it does happen. It does happen occasionally. But that was one of our favorite things. Like after Thanksgiving, we would go to this. It's called Dull's Christmas Tree Farm. It's in Indiana, and we would go to the Christmas tree farm, find our own Christmas tree, chop it down ourselves, and take it home. And it was just one of the things we loved to do together as a family every year.
That's cool. Very cool. I mean, I'm always a plastic tree kind of guy.
Always.
But
always. You gotta just one year just do it, and it actually like it sets the mood. Like I don't know. My family had switched to plastic, and when I was living at my house about 3 years ago, I was like, okay, we're not gonna do this. I just like bought them a tree, and it was like I don't know. It just made everything happier and smelled good.
It smells nice.
And it just sets the mood.
And those long Douglas firs, like they're so beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
Like you can't get anything that looks even close to that. That's fake.
Yeah.
Like
I know that.
unless you spend like so much money on it.
Yeah.
Like
I think
it's just one of those things. Like I don't know. And yes, you have to water it and take care of it and stuff like that. But that's part of it, And
it's effort
really nice
to make the holiday special.
Yeah.
Yeah,
true.
exactly.
Not that I'm downing on the way you do.
No, plastics are. I mean,
plastics
they're an
work.
option,
And
it shows
And
that
there's
you're putting that
some
effort.
things that plastic trees can do that real trees can't do. Like for example, those really beautiful like silvery trees that are like all silver and then people put the lights on the turning light that changes.
Oh wait, yeah.
Yeah, that changes the whole tree's color. Like that is so beautiful, and you can't get that with a real tree, So there are definitely some things you can get from fake trees.
Are you a multicolored tree or a white tree? Like lights only.
Lights, I like to do multicolors. Yeah.
Yeah, we do them all.
Really?
do them
You
all.
go all out? I think we're just usually we have the whites.
Yeah,
that are
whites.
up. But I mean, once you put all the ornaments and everything on it, at that point, it's kind of becoming colorful. You know what I mean?
That's a good point.
That's fair.
Very good point.
Thanks. I guess I won that. That's fair. Okay.
Well, a little bit about Christmas in Rexburg. We do need to wrap up here soon, but a little bit about Christmas in Rexburg. Do you guys know what's going on in Rexburg around Christmas time? For people who can't travel home and are still here on campus, are there things that they can do here?
You can go out sledding with friends. When you talk about this, I don't want people to be sad if they can't go home for Christmas. I know there are plenty of people that can't go home for Christmas. There's a lot of international students here that tickets are just insanely priced. And also it would take a 24-hour trip to get home. So they're like, nah, I'm just going to stay here. There's plenty of stuff to do here. Don't be focused on like, oh my goodness, I've eaten at every restaurant here. I've eaten at every one of the 4 different pizza restaurants. Like that's not what you should be focusing on. Focus on staying in with friends and drinking hot chocolate and watching Christmas movies or going out and getting a tree of your own, like I just said. Yeah. That's all I can think of, really.
Reach out to friends. Yeah, keep going.
And there are other ways to make it special as well. Like sometimes we really super focus on our families and stuff because a lot of our Christmas memories are tied to that. And that's absolutely fine. But I mean, it's the reason for the season, Take it as time to grow closer to Christ. Look at Christmas Story video depictions and read the Christmas story and read about Christ's life and it'll surprise you how much of a special spirit will come to help with all of the loneliness that the holidays can sometimes bring. I've definitely had lonelier holidays. If either of you guys have served missions, you know what that's like, where you talk with your family and then it's done, and then you're like spending time with people you don't know, But when you really bring it down and tone it down and bring it back to Christ, you can definitely still have a good time and still really feel Christ with you and feel the warmth of the holidays.
Yeah. And I do know like that kind of Christ-like love and friendship also comes from the bishops around here. A lot of times bishops around here will have anybody who's not able to go anywhere else join their family for the holiday. And I know my bishop is that way, and you can just feel the Christ-like love coming from them, and their homes are just amazingly like full of the Spirit. It's just wonderful. So definitely reach out to your bishops too, just to see what they're doing for Christmas, because they always have a wonderful spirit about them.
I was gonna say kind of the same thing. I mean, reach out. You're not alone. Like, you trust me, people will be here and ready to like take you in for sure. So if you're feeling like you're scared that this holiday is going to be alone, of course you can take that time to focus on Christ. And like you said, we've served missions, and that loneliness comes along with it, where you're so far away from family, where it's kind of a weird feeling where you've never felt like that, being so far away. But at the same time, there's peace that comes with it, because with that, you get an opportunity to reach out to people who maybe you usually wouldn't. So make new memories, have fun. I mean, I think when I think Christmas, I think have fun too. So like, you can have fun, you can be happy, you can go around and make new memories and experiences, but just be willing to reach out, because people will definitely take you in.
You've been listening to The Spot, a production of BYU-Idaho Radio. Today's hosts were me, Savannah Bewley,
Bryan Bridge,
Hayden Hon,
and my brother,
Devon Bewley.
The views and opinions of this podcast are not that of BYU-Idaho Radio or the university, and are solely the opinions of the hosts. This episode was edited by me, Savannah Bewley. Producers were the hosts with supervision by Brandon Isle. Our theme music is Finding Happiness by DJ Quads and The Perpetual Ticking of Time by Artificial Music. To listen to more episodes episodes of The Spot, like and follow us on social media, or visit our website, byui.edu/radio, and click podcasts. Be sure to subscribe to the BYU-Idaho Radio podcast on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, SoundCloud, or wherever you get podcasts. And also, leave a review of the show and leave a comment on what we should talk about next.